today I have a delight for you. I have a special guest who's going to be joining me, and she's going to teach us all about einkorn wheat. Many of you have been asking about it, and I wanted to bring someone who makes this their specialty, and she's going to teach us about einkorn wheat. Is it really the oldest wheat in the Bible? And how do you cook with it? Does it taste good? What do we do with it? Can we make bread with it? Yeah, we're going to cover all of that in today's episode. Welcome back. I'm so excited to have Sue Becker joining us here today from Bread Becker's in Atlanta, Georgia. And if you have not visited that shop, you need to start planning your trip today. Today, though, we're going to specifically talk about einkorn. What is einkorn? What makes it so different? Is it the oldest wheat that's been around forever? Are these statements true? And how can we add it into our diet, or should we? So we just want to talk to Sue. I call her the expert in grain.
Thank you.
She's the one who introduced me to this whole way of living back in either 2003, I think, at a conference where we met, and it changed everything. Okay, let me just start with the first one. Do you believe einkorn is the oldest wheat?
Well, from everything I've read, that is what is believed to be the oldest variety of wheat. I mean, they've found, some ancient grains and tombs that had ancient grains in it, and einkorn's definitely believed to be that variety. Kamut as well is an old one that they believe, is the most ancient. Do I know for sure? No, I don't have any way of knowing other than what I read historically. So, yeah.
Yeah, that was just it. I wasn't sure if it was just kind of a hype to get people to buy in,
Yeah.
or was
Yeah.
there actually validated truth to what they're saying? Because so many times people just, oh, look at this. He says this. And they're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, must be true. So that's why I
Yeah.
figured you had probably done more research than I have. So
Yeah, I've done a little. And like I said, it is considered to be one of the oldest, and genetically they can look at it and determine that they do believe that it is. And one thing also that is an indication that it's an older wheat. So there's naked grain and there's something called covered grain. Naked grain is more like our modern wheat now, and it's one that will come out very easily out of the chaff. It'll just shake out. Your covered grain, though, has to be removed mechanically, and it's tedious. And so as wheat began to crossbreed, and then you started getting naked grain varieties that would just come out, well, who wouldn't prefer that, over something that was much more tedious to, clean from the chaff off of. So that's kind of why it fell out of popularity. So that is an indication that spelt einkorn. I believe emmer is as well a covered grain that takes some mechanical cleaning of getting that grain out of the chaff.
what's your favorite way of using it? Do you just use it the same as regular wheat, hard wheat, red wheat, or do you use it differently?
So most any grain can be boiled and eaten whole, something I don't know if people forgot or they never knew to start with, but you can, just like you would boil brown rice, you can boil wheat, spelt, kamut, einkorn, emmer, and it's very, very, very delicious. So the general rule of thumb is two parts liquid to 1 part grain. So a cup of einkorn, 2 cups of water, or you can use broth or whatever you want to do with it. If you want to make more of a porridge, you can use half milk and half liquid and maybe increase it, say, to 3 cups. It'll be a little creamier. But the basic, if you're wanting to have it more like rice, 1 part grain to 2 parts liquid, teaspoon of salt or seasoning, whatever you want. And bring it up to a boil. When it comes up to a boil, make sure it's nicely covered, drop it down to simmer. Conventional cooking, it'll take about an hour. I love pressure cooking. It will take about 18 minutes. So, and
Big
then
difference.
yes, real big difference. Once it's done and you don't want to stir it, you want to leave it alone. Of course, pressure cooking you would, but even conventionally, just leave that lid on, just believe. And then once the time is up, turn it off and let it sit for about 15 minutes. And it'll absorb any of those excess liquids and then just fluff it with a fork and it'll be nice and tender and ready to eat. And you can serve it as a side dish like you would brown rice, or it's a wonderful base for whole grain salads. Chop up, green onions, bell pepper. I've got a recipe, I think, that has peaches and apples and cranberries, and then you just make a vinaigrette and pour over it. And it's absolutely delicious. It's one of our favorite things to have, especially in the summertime, because you can make it ahead and have it on hand. And that's another thing. It keeps very well once you've boiled it. So you could cook a bigger cooking than that and have your side dish that night for dinner, and then have the other to cool and add your veggies and make a salad with it. So it's really, really nice. And like I said, I stumbled on Einkorn one night like that, and I was like, ooh, I kind of really like this. So, but I've made muffins and pancakes with it. I've made bread with it. It's nice. It's got a very nice flavor, but it's expensive because of the supply and demand. It's not grown as readily because of that chaff that we talked about earlier. It's hard to clean.
If you haven't already checked out my book, Satisfied, Baking with Whole Grain Goodness, this is a book that is definitely a perfect gift for anyone who's getting started freshly milling grain. And it includes not only some of the teaching in the beginning about the value of real grain and how God created it, but it has some of my very favorite recipes for holidays, for every day. So many delicious recipes that I know your family's going to love. Please check out Satisfied, Baking with Whole Grain Goodness.
And one thing, it is a little different sequence of proteins. Still, it has the gluten forming proteins in it. But some people find that a little bit less of certain proteins, it's a little easier to digest. I've had people tell me that. I've never, there's no problem with the modern wheat that we have today. In fact, it's very similar to other wheats that are around and that have been around for years and years. There was studies done on 100 years of wheat seeds that they've stored, and there's relatively no difference in the gluten content or the protein content or the genetics of it. So that's something that people should understand.
Yeah, no, that's huge.
Yeah.
That's very big. So, all right. Well, I just appreciate your time here. That pretty much covers all the questions I had about einkorn. It's just growing in popularity so much.
Yeah.
And to most people, it's a foreign word as they're getting into, because so many people now are getting into bread making, and it's exciting because you ignited my flame, and then I started spreading it around as well, and always having good resources to send people to. So,
yeah. Okay.
So thanks for joining me. And also for everyone watching, if you are within driving distance, which is pretty much anyone in the continental United States to Atlanta,
yes,
you might want to just make a trip to Atlanta and visit Bread Becker's just for a fun day and cooking classes and all kinds of good stuff. So
we're actually just north of Atlanta in Woodstock, Georgia. So look for us there, but it's an easy ride.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you, Sue, for joining us.
Thank you, Annette. Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.
Thank you for letting me share with you this interview with Sue Becker and all about einkorn wheat. I'm excited that you were able to get to hear from her, and hopefully you'll be able to visit her store there north of Atlanta. Until next time, be sure you're subscribed to this YouTube channel so we can keep teaching you more about God's recipe for excellent health. Be sure and hit the bell next to it so you get notified every time we post new videos. We've got a lot of content to teach you. And it all comes down to God's recipe. And that recipe, number one ingredient is always remember, God loves you. He's loved you from the moment of conception, and he's loved you with an everlasting love. He's the same God yesterday, today, and forever. And remember that every day. When days are tough, God loves you. When days are easy, God loves you. And he always is there for you. All you have to do is just call out his name, and he will answer. All right. I'm Annette Reeder from thebiblicalnutritionist.com. Don't forget to go there and check out Biblical Nutrition Academy. That's where we post all of our courses that you can learn more about healthy living anytime you want. All right, thanks for watching. If you haven't already checked out my book, Satisfied, Baking with Whole Grain Goodness, this is a book that is definitely a perfect gift for anyone who's getting started freshly milling grain. And it includes not only some of the teaching in the beginning about the value of real grain and how God created it, but it has some of my very favorite recipes for holidays, for every day. So many delicious recipes that I know your family's going to love. So yes, it does have the basic bread recipe, but it has many more recipes so you can extend your idea of baking with a lot of good recipes. Please check out Satisfied, Baking with Whole Grain Goodness.